Think Tai Chi is just slow motion breathing? The original art was built for combat, complete with eye strikes, throat jabs, and joint locks. Under MMA rules, several of these techniques are banned outright. Here's why some Tai Chi moves don't belong in the cage. From the specific actions like eye gouges, small joint locks, throat strikes, strikes to the spine, and spiking the head. But say nothing about styles. If a technique breaks the rules, it's illegal. It doesn't matter whether it comes from Tai Chi, Krav Maga, or karate. That said, several techniques found in traditional Tai Chi match those exact fouls. One of the most direct examples is the snake hand strike, used in some forms to target the throat. Under MMA rules, the throat is off limits. So is the trachea. The moment a strike lands there, whether from a fingertip or a fist, it's a foul. Eye attacks fall into the same category. Tai Chi forms sometimes include snapping or flicking finger strikes intended to shock or disorient by going straight for the eyes. Moves like these are fast and hard to block, but in a regulated fight, they're out of bounds. Tai Chi's grappling techniques, especially those in its Chin-Na system, also run into trouble. Grabbing and twisting an opponent's finger, for example, is an effective way to end a confrontation quickly. But MMA bans small joint manipulation for a reason. It's nearly impossible to defend or tap out in time once someone has a single finger locked. Even the throwing side of Tai Chi can trigger fouls. Some of the more forceful takedowns, particularly those that rotate the opponent vertically, risk violating the ban on spiking. It's not the throw itself, it's the landing. If the head or neck hits first, it's a foul no matter how clean the setup was. So while Tai Chi isn't banned by name, many of its traditional techniques can't legally be used in a sanctioned fight. They fall into restricted categories by targeting vulnerable areas or by applying force in ways that can't be controlled safely under pressure. But not everything in Tai Chi breaks the rules. Some parts actually fit perfectly within the MMA framework. That doesn't mean Tai Chi has nothing to offer. A large portion of its body mechanics are fully legal and theoretically useful in MMA. Rooting, redirection, open hand strikes, leg sweeps, hip-generated power. None of that breaks the rules. In fact, the way Tai Chi teaches whole body movement and control can help with balance, defense, and striking efficiency. The problem isn't legality, the problem is context. Tai Chi was developed for civilian self-defense and military survival, not for 5-minute rounds with gloves and a referee. Many techniques assume surprise or untrained opposition. When both fighters are skilled and neither one is giving away momentum, the window for Tai Chi-style counters closes quickly. It also comes down to training emphasis. Tai Chi focuses heavily on internal sensitivity, fluid movement, and control. These are long-term skills often trained through slow solo forms or cooperative partner drills. That approach doesn't prepare most practitioners for the pace, impact, or unpredictability of an MMA match. To adapt Tai Chi to the cage, a fighter has to strip out everything that breaks the rules and rework what remains into a faster, tighter system. That's possible, but it takes time, and most fighters choose more direct paths through boxing, wrestling, or kickboxing. To understand why some Tai Chi moves are so incompatible with modern competition, it helps to look at where the art came from. The oldest recorded form, Chen-style Tai Chi, was created in the 1600s by Chen Wangting, a retired military officer from Henan province. He combined battlefield combat with Taoist breathing practices and created a system that included strikes, throws, joint locks, and explosive bursts of force. That original version was nothing like the wellness-focused classes you see today. It had low stances, rapid direction changes, and sudden power releases, called Fa Jin, that were designed to disable quickly and end a fight in seconds. The goal was to survive a violent encounter, not to win a tournament. Later styles like Yang and Wu softened the art to make it more teachable to the general public. By the 20th century, Tai Chi was widely promoted as a health system. The martial edge faded in public perception, but it never vanished from the traditional teachings. Those older techniques still exist, especially in Chen-style schools and in lineages that preserve combat applications. But the further you move away from the battlefield context, the harder it becomes to apply those same techniques in a modern ring, especially when they're based on targeting areas that fighters are no longer allowed to touch. So what happens when fighters try to bring those older techniques into a real, unscripted fight? Every now and then, someone tries to bring traditional Tai Chi into the world of MMA. One of the most famous attempts was in 2017, when Chinese MMA fighter Xu Xiaodong challenged a self-proclaimed Tai Chi master named Wei Lei. The fight lasted only seconds. One jab, one takedown. Done. Xu continued issuing challenges, exposing dozens of traditional martial artists who couldn't withstand even basic striking pressure. Most weren't trained for full contact fighting. Their techniques had never been tested under resistance. And when the gloves came off, figuratively speaking, they had nothing to fall back on. These cases don't mean Tai Chi is fake. They just show the difference between cooperative demo and combat reality. If a move relies on an opponent giving you an opening, it won't hold up under live resistance. And if it targets the throat or eyes, you can't use it anyway. Even skilled Tai Chi practitioners have to modify their approach to compete. Nick Osipchak, a former UFC fighter, trained in Chen-style Tai Chi and integrated its principles into his MMA toolkit. But he also trained in striking, grappling, and conditioning because Tai Chi alone doesn't prepare you for the rules and rhythm of cage fighting. So are there Tai Chi moves that are banned in MMA? Yes, because they strike banned targets, twist banned joints, or land fighters in dangerous positions. But the rules don't single out Tai Chi. They apply equally to every style. You can't poke someone in the eye. You can't jab the throat. You can't twist their finger until it breaks. And you can't spike them on their head. It doesn't matter if it's Tai Chi, Sambo, or something you saw in a 1970s Kung Fu movie. If it violates the unified rules, it's not allowed. The myth that Tai Chi is banned because it's too deadly doesn't hold up. The truth is simpler. MMA is a sport, and sports have boundaries. Tai Chi was built for situations without them. That's the real reason you won't see pure Tai Chi in the cage, and why the conversation keeps coming back to the same point. Tai Chi's roots lie in survival, not scoring points. That's why some of its most direct techniques, like eye strikes, throat jabs, and joint attacks, are banned in MMA. The art isn't illegal, the tactics are, and if a fighter wants to bring Tai Chi into the cage, they have to leave those parts behind. Some do, most don't, because when everything is on the line, only the tools that work under pressure and within the rules make it to the bell. If you like the video, please subscribe to our channel and turn on those notifications. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.